I think it does, and I hope it did, humanize a priest. I think first off, it shows, because it's a quiz show, it literally shows that we don't have all the answers. And we're not perfect, we're gonna screw up. It humanizes us and shows us that we're like everybody else. We have interests and likes and dislikes and hopes and dreams, and sometimes we get to realize those dreams on national television. I grew up watching the show with my parents or my family, big family functions. We'd all eat dinner, and then we'd all sit around and watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. And every once in a while, my dad would turn to me, or my mom would turn to me and say, "You should be on the show." About a year ago or so, I was in my feelings late at night. Grief hits you in weird ways, and I lost my dad to cancer about 2 years ago. And I was just up late at night, and I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the Jeopardy anytime test. I thought, I'll just see how I do. And I passed that, and I got an email back to take another online test. I passed that, and I was invited to a Zoom audition. It was interesting. It was just me in a room full of IT professionals. Everyone was a systems administrator or a web developer, and then there was this Episcopal priest in the room. So they try and create a pool of people from all walks of life, all regions of the country. And I was at the church walking down the stairs, and I got a call on my phone from California, and I said, I don't know anyone at that number, spam. And it was someone from Jeopardy saying, we'd like you to be on the show. My wife and I turned it into a vacation and our anniversary. I actually taped my episodes on our anniversary, our 19th wedding anniversary. It was kind of fun because you can't let anyone know that you're going to be on the show. So my wife and I disguised it as we were taking a trip for our anniversary. We left the kids with Grammy and Gran and took a trip to LA. It's a well-oiled machine. They tape up to 5 or more shows a day. So you'll tape a couple episodes before lunch, you'll go to lunch, and then you come back and film a few more episodes. The contestants are all in a green room together. You watch each other's episodes. You watch the taping, participate in games, and generally get to hang out with a bunch of other trivia nerds. You're behind these big podium when you're actually on stage. And Ken Jennings asked if that was familiar to me. And, yeah, the podium, it's basically a big pulpit. That's familiar. That I got used to. But the board, the host, the buzzers, never going to get used to that. But the really fun part was, in addition to playing the game, of course, was, the producers are all incredibly kind people, ushering you around, taking you places, telling you, what to do, how to do this, how to do that, how the game is going to be played, a little bit of advice here and there. And then you get to hang out in the green room with all of the other contestants. And so it was really interesting just hanging out with them between shows and during shows, just talking about different things. And of course, the entire time I was wearing my collar, so people were naturally curious. Are you a priest? Like, really? Yes, really. When I was getting advice about, what do you wear on the show? What's good, looks good on television? And one of the producers said, but that decision might be easy for you because you just wear your clerical attire, I suppose. But as far as, the opportunity to be on national television and say something about the faith, there aren't going to be many opportunities to explicitly talk about God. So I would let my clothing do the talking for me. I got a lot of response online, both good and bad. I declined to answer some questions around the King James Bible because I was too afraid of being wrong. The King James Bible was not part of my upbringing, and I don't use it now. I use the New Revised Standard Version like we do in the Episcopal Church. And so I was deathly afraid of being wrong on national television, but instead it just looked like I didn't know my Bible as well as I probably should. So there were a couple of comments online about that. But other people were surprised that I knew the answers in rap categories. A lot of people, they've heard the God talk, do you have a moment to talk about Jesus? Have you been saved? And I think people are naturally and react to that and are very skeptical of that and are past that. And I was hoping to show, between the way I was dressed and the way I acted, here's a kind, decent, intelligent person who has looked at the priestly life and said, that's who I am. I won $50,000+ over the course of my 3 days. And Jeopardy just announced I'll be part of the Tournament of Champions. Those who have won at least 5 games automatically qualify, and then they fill the field with 4-game winners and 3-game winners. And so I'm a part of that field, and I'll be competing with 20 plus other contestants in the Tournament of Champions for this season. I think trivia in particular is a potential evangelical route, because naturally I theologize it all. And there's something about trivia where you participate in God's omniscience. By knowing a historical fact or a bit of pop culture or just somebody's name, you're participating in that aspect of God that knows everyone and everything. And you're participating in that God's knowing and loving and caring for every little thing. And so if you can show by your curiosity that you care in some sense, you can encourage the kind of curiosity that makes for better people.